Hi and welcome back to DPAF. Please subscribe to channel for more anti-lockdowns content. My name is Elena and I'm joined today by David Pattinson to discuss vaccines and the potential end of lockdown. David, are vaccines a great solution? They are being hyped up to be.
Well, they're being hyped up a lot, Elena. It's kind of different. I suppose this we could call this the politics of vaccines. Throughout the whole year, the government's sort of solution to the anti-lockdown crisis was the vaccines. And then, of course, when the vaccines came, they said this is great. There was like big celebrations. The health secretary was on television, like crying because he was so happy. And then the government's position sort of shifted to, instead of it being you take the vaccine, you get your freedom back, it's like you take the vaccine, but you still got to wear a face mask, you're still got to be locked down, you've still got to do this, that, and the other. And it's a sort of a contradictory position. The government's whole strategy through this crisis has been what I call ambiguous communication. Instead of clear communication, which is what I like, it's ambiguous communication. It's vague. It's, we might do this, we might do that, this might happen, that might happen. So no one really knows what's going on. And the government have the ability to sort of change their position. I think the vaccines are, on the face of it, are fine. But of course, as with all these things, you want to trust but verify. And I would want to see the vaccines be implemented and tested more before I was interested in taking them. But I think that it's a bit of an unknown. I mean, it's like a political solution for the government. It gets them out of this anti-lockdown stuff. But there could be side effects for the vaccine. I mean, it could make people sicker. And of course, the thing is with the virus, the survival rate is like 99.6% anyway. So from a logical point of view, why do you need to take a vaccine if you don't want to? The problem with the virus, it's been so overhyped. It's been hyped up to be this sort of scary, dangerous thing, when in reality it isn't. So the vaccines, to me, are neither here nor there. But of course, there's a big political component to them, which is why they've been newsworthy and is why we're talking about them now.
Should vaccines be compulsory?
Well, I definitely think absolutely not. I mean, if you're a free citizen, there's no way the government can force you to put something in your body that you don't want to be put in there. Now, of course, they're going to say, well, look, this is for the greater good. I mean, the whole thing with this lockdown, it's always been about you passing on the virus rather than you protecting yourself from the virus. I mean, if you're locked down in your home, it doesn't matter what I'm doing outside in the world. You're locked down in your home. Same thing with the face mask. If you're wearing a face mask, it does not matter that I'm not wearing one because you are. But of course, the government have flipped it round. They've said, you need to wear a face mask to protect me. You need to lock yourself in your home to protect me. You need to take the vaccine to protect me. But of course, if you've taken the vaccine, it doesn't matter what anyone else has done. You're safe, right? So it's the politics of the virus. It's all about control. It's about controlling the freedom of the individual through non-logical means. And the government will try to make it compulsory by punishing people that don't take it. They'll say, if you don't take the vaccine, you can't go out, you can't travel, you can't do business in your shops. So it's a way of controlling the freedoms of people. But of course, logically, it doesn't make sense, because if everyone in your town has taken the vaccine and you haven't, well, that's your loss, right? It doesn't matter. Everyone else is safe. But of course, that's not the way the government are going to spin it. They're going to want to have control of people. So I think this compulsory vaccination narrative is very dangerous.
Medical choices, the responsibility of the individual or the government?
Yeah, I think it's always about the individual. I mean, if you're a free citizen, you make your own medical choices. But this whole process has been about transferring your choices to the government. And that's why I'm so against it. It's government tyranny. It's government usurping the power of the individual to make their own healthcare decisions and to put them in the hands of the government. And, I'm totally against that.
Dude, what will happen to people who refuse to take the vaccine?
I think they will be punished. Now, they may not be punished, like I said, explicitly, but they'll be punished implicitly. Corporations will say, you can't do business with us if you haven't taken the vaccine. You can't ride the school bus. You can't go to you can't go to your local hospital. You can't shop in your local shop. You can't go to a sporting event. So it's a way of the government to control people, and there'll be a big pushback against it. My hope is that it'll sort of fade out. There'll be kind of a big sort of emphasis on the vaccine, but people will start forgetting about it after a while. And whether you've taken it or not taken it won't matter. People who want to take it will take it. They'll be fine, but they won't be so worried about other people who haven't. But of course, they're talking about these health passports. You've got to have like a document to prove you've taken the vaccine and stuff. So it all depends on the British people. If we push back against this hard, it'll fade. It'll fade out of relevance. But if people are so afraid, they say, "Oh, give me the vaccine. I'll just take it. Everyone else needs to take it." It becomes this very, very divisive issue, and that's where it becomes dangerous. You need political leadership to push back against all this tyranny. But of course, our government is so tyrannical, they promote this kind of tyranny, this kind of authoritarianism, and it's the antithesis of a free society, and that's why they need to go. That's why they need to be prosecuted for criminal behaviour, because they're violating civil liberties every single day.
David, some people afraid vaccine, they think it's dangerous.
Yeah,
what do you think about
that? That's what they think, isn't it? If they think it's dangerous, they shouldn't take it. I don't know whether it's dangerous or not dangerous, because I haven't seen enough info. It's brand new. Once people have been using it for 10 years, we'll have a good idea whether it's dangerous or not dangerous. But you can't make that assessment when it's brand new. And of course, if we're going to say people are free to make their own decisions, they should make them, shouldn't they? And that's the bottom line. But of course, if it's made compulsory, if your government told you had to take the vaccine and then you ended up having brain damage, or your hair fell out, or something really bad happened to you, you would not be happy about that. So every individual's got to make their own risk assessment. And as with any medicine, there's always the risk of side effects. So everyone's got to make their own decision. But the bottom line is, for me, with the virus, the survival rate is 99.6% if you get it. So I am in no rush to take a vaccine. I would not be in a hurry to do so. But if you wanted to do so, that's your decision. As with anyone watching this video, it's their decision. It's not the government's decision.
So it means we have risk and no choice.
Yeah, the high risk, no choice. That's the government's position.
Risk,
my position is you take your own risk and it's your decision,
Yeah, no choice, my decision, no choice.
Yeah, no decision, but your choice, yeah. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous political situation just because the virus has been so overhyped. Now, if the virus was not overhyped, I think people would be happy to take the vaccine who wanted to, but it's this compulsion. It's like you're going to be forced to take it because the danger is so great. But of course, the danger is not that great. That's the bottom line. That's what the government don't like. You see, the bottom line here is that the government put these lockdowns in because they thought the virus was very dangerous. Now that we find out it's not dangerous, the government would look foolish if they would look incompetent. So they need to keep this danger perception high to retain their authority. And of course, the vaccines are all part of that authority. It's like, we've got this big danger. The vaccines are the solution to the danger. We don't need people like David Pattinson telling us that it's not that dangerous.